Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia. And in this specific video, we will be focusing on our next part of interview question series, where next module is all about data string methods that we have. So we will be able to see that what kind of questions an interviewer can ask from us with respect to that module. So now I am on the platform and let's try to take the question step by step. So if you remember in our last session, we have finished our data filtering portion and now it's the time that we will start solving the problem of data string methods completely. Here you can see that I do have one question which will open only if we will be having a lead code premium, and I do have, so I will be able to open and solve this question also. So in this specific video, the task is to solve until the count occurrences in text, and let's try to see how many problems we will be easily able to cater, and how many problems feels difficult and it will take time to solve that specific problem statement. Let's go it step by step. So what it is showcasing to us is a table where we will be having a tweet ID and we will be having a content. Okay. It is clearly indicating to me that tweet ID is of integer type and content is of varchar type. Okay. We can clearly see it's a primary key and table contain all the tweets in a social media app. We need to write a solution to find the IDs of the invalid tweets. Okay. So our focus is to find those IDs which are invalid. So it means that we should also know that what is the meaning of invalid, and that's why they have already given the definition. The tweet is invalid if the number of characters used in the content of the tweet is strictly bigger than 15. Makes sense. So what they are saying is, somehow they are saying to me that just count the length of the content that we have, and if length is bigger than 15, it means it's an invalid tweet, and in that case you have to just showcase me the tweet ID for that specific row. Makes sense, makes sense. So here you can see that return the result table in any of the order, and the format is below. So here you can see the length of the tweet ID 1 as it is showcasing to us is 14. That's why it's a part of a valid tweet. And in the second case, the length is 32, and that is why they are saying it as an invalid one. And then we can see that is the main reason the output somehow is visible to me as 2. Makes sense. So let's try to think over it, that how basically we can solve this problem. Maybe you can just pause the video and try to have a thought process. Basically what we want is, as I already gave the hint, we need to check the length of that content column that we have. Okay. So let's try to see. The data frame name is tweets. Inside that, we are just focusing on contents. Content is the column name. .str dot length is the function name that we have, which is basically telling the length of the content column row wise. If it is bigger than 15, I want only those records. So what we can say is we can directly return, I think this will work fine, of the tweets, where this is the constraint I am saying as a part of a filtering operation. And what I am looking forward in the two-dimensional array is tweet underscore ID. I think this should work because we are saying this is something which is an invalid tweet as per the given definition. They have mentioned strictly greater, not like at least wala case that we have seen in the previous discussion. So I think it should work fine. Let's see that. Okay, it is accepting. Let's try to submit it. And perfect. Let's go to the second problem of today's discussion, which is calculation of a special bonus. Okay, let's see. So here they are saying employee ID is the primary key, and each row of this table indicates 3 things that we can see as well. The employee ID, the name, and the salary. Okay, what they are saying is we need to write a solution to calculate the bonus of each employee. Okay, the bonus of an employee is 100% of their salary if the ID of the employee is an odd number. Okay, makes sense. And the second condition is that employee name does not start with character M. Okay. So what they are saying is they are applying 2 filters here. First filter is employee ID should have a odd number. Second filter is the employee name should not start with the character M. if both of these constraints or filters are satisfied, in that case only we are providing the bonus of the employee as 100%. It means that whatever salary currently that employee is getting, same salary somehow as a bonus we are providing, means addition of that. I hope it makes sense to everyone. The bonus, otherwise it will be zero. So we need to return the table ordered by employee ID, means we have to at the end of the day sort also in the form of a employee ID. Makes sense. So you can see that the output is in the form of ordered manner. And if we can see this 3 is having 0 because somehow the name is starting with M. That's the main reason. 7 is an odd number and the name is also not starting with M. That's why getting a bonus of 7,400 exactly, because we are somehow getting 100% bonus itself, they are saying. For the employee ID 8, it's again 0. For the employee ID 9, you can say it's an odd number as well. And again, the name is not starting with M. That is why again the bonus is 7,700. So we have to somehow, first of all, working upon the condition of writing both of these constraints. So I'm just thinking, how can we do that? Maybe you can also pause a video and just have a thought over the same, that how basically we can solve this problem. So what we can do is, maybe first of all, let's work on the constraints that we have. 2 constraints, and I think there should be an AND condition which we should apply, because both of them are compulsory to have as per their constraints, right? Odd number as well as the employee name does not start with a character M. So what we can do is, we can create a new column by the name of bonus in my already available table, which is employees, already available data frame. And what I will do is, I will say that if both of these conditions will satisfy, then I will take the salary as it is, the new column in the bonus. Otherwise, I will mark that as 0. So what I am saying is, what I will do here is, I will say employees dot, I will apply a filter here. So I will use a lambda function and I will say lambda x colon x of salary. Now here I will apply the constraint. I will say that if, let's suppose, x of employee underscore ID modulus 2, and now here if it is 2, it means the number is even. In that case the answer will be 0, right? And if it is not equal to, like this modulus, I hope everyone knows, will provide a remainder. So when I'm saying x of employee ID modulus 2, if it is an even number, the answer will be 0. And at any moment the answer will be 0. I'm applying an AND condition, the overall result will be 0 itself. So what I'm trying to convey here, that this result will be 1 only if this will be an odd number. I hope it makes sense to everyone what I'm trying to convey. Second condition is, employee name does not start with the character M. So I will apply not of x of, I would say, what was the next column we have? Name, right? X of name. And here we can say there is a function in a string starts with, and I'm just passing a constraint that capital M should not be the case. Capital M should not be the case. If both of them are satisfying, then we are saying write the salary name. Else we can say write 0 in the bonus part and do it column wise. So x's should be equals to 1. So we are ready with a new column by the name of bonus, where if both of the conditions will be giving as the answer as 1, in that case salary will be represented in the bonus column, otherwise 0. We are ready to go. Now what we will do is, we will try to curate a new column, because at the end of the day what I want, the 2 things as an output. So I will try to curate a new column which is df, and inside that I will take from employees 2 columns. One is the employee ID and another one is the bonus. And once we will be able to curate that, because they are saying that we have to sort that specific result in the form of employee ID, so we can say sort underscore values, and after this we can say sort values as per the employee underscore ID. And finally what we can do is, we can return df. So I hope that this specific constraint is pretty much clear to everyone. So I think now it is pretty much clear, visible to the screen. So what we have done is the very first task I have tried to, create a new column by the name of bonus, and we have filtered the constraint that just apply if both of them will be 1. So this answer will be 1 and this answer will also be 1. One thing which you will be able to observe, if I'll write only this simple query, the filter is that it should start with M. But in my question, it is saying that my name column should not start with M. So what I have done is I have applied a negation operator on top of that to do the result as vice versa. Otherwise, if that is not, this condition is not satisfying, so it will mark the result as 0. We want it to be column wise. Then we have accepted 2 values because as an output, we are looking for only 2 columns, which is employee ID and bonus. Then what we are doing is we are sorting the values as per the employee ID. Let's try to run this code. Okay, we are getting some sort of error here. Name salary is not defined. We have to write it in a quotation mark. So let's see now again. Now let's see, it is accepting. Let's try to submit this and it is working perfectly fine. Super, awesome. Let's try to work for the next problem now. That is the fixing of a names in a table. So I have just reset the code. It is already being done. Now let's see what will happen. So here what they're saying is, it's a very simple problem actually. We have to write a solution to fix the names so that only the first character is uppercase and the rest are lowercase. So here you can see in our specific, name column that we have, A is a small, remaining in between there is a capital. So what they want is in a format which we usually write, that first character should be in uppercase and the remaining ones are in the lowercase. So what we can do to solve this problem, there is a function name called as capitalized in a string. I don't know how many of you know this specific function. If anyone is not aware, please today go and explore about this function. It's very interesting function in a string whose major purpose is this only, that it will try to convert a string value as a first character in the uppercase and the remaining in the lowercase. So I will use that only. So what I will do here is I will try to take the column name as name and I will apply that capitalized function on this specific users table, capitalize on specific users table that we have. And then what they're saying is that return the result table ordered by user ID. So what we can do is we can return users table where we will sort the values, sort underscore values by we are doing via user ID. So we will say user underscore ID. Let's try to run this code and let's try to see. Okay, there is some issue in terms of okay. So here we need to pass all the string functions will start from str dot. If you remember in the previous discussion also, we have used str dot len. Here str dot capitalize. So let's try to rerun this again. And now it is working perfectly fine. Let's move to the next discussion of today's session, which is about finding the users with a valid emails. Okay, interesting. So again, one thing which you will observe in these specific platforms is that whenever they're asking these unique questions, they will provide you definition for the same. And same thing will happen when you're going for an interviews also. For example, if interviewer is asking you some specific question that I need a valid email, and if let's say they're not telling you directly that what is the definition of a valid email, it's your responsibility to ask from the interviewer that can you provide me the constraints or the bullet points via which I will be able to get a sense that what is the indication you want to give to me by saying the valid emails. For example, here you can see they are saying a valid email has a prefix name and a domain, where prefix name is a string which may contain letters, which is either upper or lower case. It may contain digits, it may contain underscore, it may contain period or dash, and it should start with a letter only. Domain name is always @leetcode.com. So for example, here you can see Winson @leetcode.com is perfectly fine. Here Jonathan is great is not correct because domain name is not available. Bella-leetcode.com is again fine. Sally.com @leetcode.com is again fine. Quartz hash I think hash is something which is not allowed in the prefix name. That is why it is invalid. So you don't assume your own definition of valid. Whatever they're specifying, as per that only, make sure that things should look fine. David69, for example, this seems to be valid email. But what they have specified in the question is that the domain name is only @leetcode.com. So just have to make sure this is not @leetcode.com. So this is again invalid, and here it is starting from dot itself, and they have already specified that the prefix name must start with a letter. So again it is wrong, so that is why it is invalid. So in a way we are left with only 3 records, 1, then 2, then 3, and you can see this is the output that we are getting. So whenever these kind of questions will be asked from you, where they are specifying some definition and you have to filter out in a given records that how many number of records are there which satisfies this definition, always go for a regular expression. This is one of the best approach via which you will be easily able to solve this problem. So you can see that how easily I am now able to solve this problem. I'll use the regular expression approach here. So I will return users, and inside that I am looking for specifically users of mail, and now I will start the regular expression part now. So how basically we can start? We have a function in string str.match. Now I will match the regular expression here. So R is the starting point. Now what I'm saying is there is a exponential symbol, means we can have multiple values here depending upon the given filter, A to small z, and then capital A to capital Z, right? Anything we can write. Because they have said that prefix name should always start from a letter only, right? So here I have specified first constraint. After that, the second number can be a small z, A to Z, capital A to Z. Also, it can be from any number from 0 to 9, right? It can be hash, it can be dot. That is what they have specified in the prefix name. Apart from this, hash, slash, any other thing is not allowed, so I will not mention that, right? After that, what they are specifying is @. So how can you simplify that? You will say slash @. After that, what is the other thing? Leet code. Dot, again you will simplify by slash dot, otherwise it will assume it's default already available dot. So we have to specify it should be /.com, right? To identify the ending of the string, you will mention the dollar symbol, and I think we are good to go. Let's try to run this code. Somewhere it is going wrong. Let's see. It is not taking dash because we have not specified. Let's take dash as well. Maybe we can take after this also. Let's run this again. Now it is accepting, right? Dash was missing, so it is fine. Very simple, right? But it is simple for those who are already aware about these regular expressions. If there is anyone who is not having an idea about regular expressions, please go and explore towards that concept as well. Coming towards the next question of today's session, which is patients with a condition. Already I have solved this, so let's try to see this. It's very simple, so I'm not removing also. Or maybe let's remove it first and then I'll rewrite this again. So here you can see, write a solution to find the patient ID, patient name and conditions of patients who have type 1 diabetes. Okay? So basically we have to again filter out those records where type 1 diabetic patients are only available. Now they're saying how basically they are identifying in their records type 1 diabetic patients. They will always start with DIAB1 prefix, right? Return the result in any order. So the result format is, for example, here you can see this is DIAB100 in the third record, and then in the fourth record also we have this. So basically we will be able to get two records as a return statement where Bob and George both have a condition that starts with a DIAB1. So basically we have to check that whether this string contains in the condition specific column. So that is what I'm doing here. If you can see, again in a string we have one function name called as contains. So we are using that specific function, And here we are trying to check /b, DIAB1. Today, it's your task. Just go and explore what is the indication of the /b. What will happen if you will not mention that? But just to give you an idea, if you will just explore this /b in a regex, this is something, let me just try to see this. I just want to convey you with the help of one example. So here you can see, if I will say /b cat, so this will just match the word cat, but not the cat in scattered. For example, what you are saying is, for example, if you will just mention CAT, that's it. So what will happen, it will just check in the substring also of a given string. But when you mention /b as a separate, so what will happen is it will just check as a separate word the cat is available or not. And that is what we want in this specific question also. We want this DIAB1 not as a part of a substring, but we want as a separate word altogether. That is why we have mentioned this. So if you will run this code and if you will try to submit this, it will run perfectly fine. Very simple, very easy. Let's move ahead to the next interesting question. This is interesting question actually. Let's see what they're saying. Here you can see that what they are saying is write a solution to find the number of files that have at least one occurrence of the word bull and beer as a standalone word respectively, disregarding any instances where it appears without space on either side. This is important to understand. What they are saying is disregarding any instances where it appears without space. Means whenever we are giving a condition, we have to apply a spacing here. Okay? On either side, means in both the sides we have to apply a spacing. So what they are saying at the end of the day is, we have a text file given to us in the file name header, and corresponding to every text file we have a content available. What we want at the end of the day is that what is the count value for the bull and for the beer, I believe, right? How many number of values are available? So here you can see at the end we want two specific columns as an output. One is word, second one is count. Word contains bull and beer. Count contains the count of both of these words, which is 3 and 2 in our case. So here you can see the explanation. Bull appears one time in first document, one time in second document, and one time in third document. Therefore, the total count is 3. Beer appears one time in the second document, one time in the third document. That's why the count is 2. Makes sense? So what do you think should be the strategy? Again, to solve these questions, there can be multiple approaches. Don't believe that whatever approach I am solving is the most optimal approach or is the only approach via which we can solve these problems. There are n number of approaches. Just think over it, right? So what I will do for now, which is coming in my head, is to count the sum of all the documents where the bull count is coming up, bull word is coming up. So I will first of all count bull count. Okay? And what I will do is I will apply the constraint files, go to the column name as content. Yes, content. And I will just try to say str dot, just now we have seen there is a function named as contains. One thing which we have to make sure, because they are saying the spacing should be there in both of the sides. So I'm just providing a spacing. And then we will say dot sum so that it will count the sum of all the words which is equivalent to this bull part, right? Same thing I will do for the beer count as well. So I will say beer underscore count. After that, again, I will try to apply the same constraint of content dot str dot contains, then space bear dot sum. Once it is done, what we will do is we will try to curate one, you can say, data frame. For that, we need to first of all create a dictionary where the key for the first part is word. The value is, you can say, bull and beer. So just mention that, bull and beer. So this task I am doing so that my result looks exactly the same, like the way my platform wants. Now the second column, which is an output part, is count, right? And inside that, I will provide again a list of bull underscore count followed by bear underscore count. Once it is done, our dictionary is ready. What we will do is we will try to convert that into data frame. So you already know we have a function of pd dot data frame. Inside that we have a data, and finally we will return df here. I think it should be pretty much fine, I believe. Let's try to run this code. Oh, it's working perfectly fine. Super. So this is the overall idea behind these questions. Here you can see all of these questions we have solved via the string methods. One thing which you will note in all of these questions is that in every question we are using the str dot then method name. So this is the format to apply the string methods in data frame. Always make sure you should know these aspects. We have used the function names like contains, length to find out the length part, regular expression. So it's a mix of those questions. Now, in the next upcoming session, we will be focusing more towards data manipulation. And you can see that now we are approaching towards the medium or the hard level problems of lead code. So it will be very, very interesting. So please stay tuned. I'll make sure that every specific question of this series you will be easily able to understand. And definitely you will observe that maximum questions in an interview will be asked from all of these things only. At least this knowledge will help you to understand and answer the question in an appropriate manner in an interview. Definitely they will not ask you exactly copy pasted question. They can, but chances are very low. But once you train your mind that how basically these questions will be solved and what's the mindset, then definitely similar questions also you will be easily able to cater. That is what I believe. So now I hope that you will be able to get clear-cut insights about how basically we can solve data string based questions. In the upcoming session, now we will be focusing more towards solving data manipulation based questions, which are very widely asked in an interviews. So please make sure that you will stay tuned and just watch the upcoming videos as well. And maybe you can do one more thing before jumping towards the next videos. You can try to solve those questions on your own, and please make sure that wherever you are facing any trouble, first of all you will spend your own time by focusing that how can we resolve that issue, and then only try to explore the solutions which I am giving to you all. With this, bye bye everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.